3 years after a devastating earthquake reduced Seoul to rubble, the once thriving metropolis has become a desolate wasteland where only the strongest survive. The towering skyscrapers now stand as crumbling relics of a bygone era, and the streets are littered with remnants of a life long forgotten. In this barren landscape, survival is a daily battle, with food, water, and shelter becoming the most precious commodities. Amidst the chaos, one man stands out, Nam-san, a rugged, battle-hardened hunter played by the formidable Ma Dong-seok. In a world ruled by violence and desperation, Nam-san has carved a reputation for himself as a man who can track, fight, and outlast anyone. He's not just a survivor, he's a protector, driven by an unshakable sense of duty to safeguard the small community that relies on him. By his side is Choi Ji-won, a younger, ambitious fighter eager to prove his worth in a world that offers little mercy. While Nam-san is seasoned and pragmatic, Ji-won is brimming with youthful energy and a desire to make a difference. Their tight-knit community, composed of survivors clinging to hope, includes Sunna, a bright and resilient young girl who brings a sense of optimism despite the grim reality surrounding them. To Nam-san, Sunna is more than just another survivor. She's family, a reminder of what humanity can still be in the face of adversity. However, the fragile piece of their lives is shattered when Dr. Yang Ji-soo, a mysterious and enigmatic scientist, emerges from the shadows. Unlike the scavengers and raiders who plagued the ruins, Dr. Yang offers something far more sinister, hope tainted by obsession. His experiments, cloaked in the promise of human enhancement, have left a trail of devastation in their wake. Rumors of missing young people and gruesome scientific trials begin to circulate, raising suspicions within Nam-san's community. The horror becomes personal when Sunna is abducted by Dr. Yang's mercenaries, disappearing without a trace into the depths of Seoul's ruins. It's no longer just a rumor, it's a terrifying reality. Driven by an unrelenting resolve, Nam-san and Ji-won embark on a perilous mission to rescue her. The journey ahead is fraught with danger, hostile gangs, crumbling infrastructure, and the looming threat of Dr. Yang's twisted experiments. But for Nam-san, failure is not an option. As they push deeper into the city's heart, Nam-san and Ji-won realize they're up against more than just human adversaries. The remnants of Dr. Yang's failed experiments lurk in the shadows. Twisted, grotesque figures that once were human, now transformed into monstrous shells of their former selves. With each step closer to the scientist's lair, the weight of the mission grows heavier, and the lines between man and monster blur. Nam-san and Ji-won venture deeper into the crumbling ruins of Seoul, a city that has become a graveyard of shattered buildings and broken dreams. Every step they take is fraught with danger, collapsed highways, unstable structures, and the ever-present threat of hostile survivors lurking in the shadows. Food is scarce, and fresh water is a luxury, forcing them to rely on their survival instincts honed over years of hardship. Despite the odds stacked against them, they press on, driven by the need to rescue Sunna from the clutches of the ruthless Dr. Yang Ji-soo. Along the way they encounter Lee Eun-ho, a former military sergeant who has been tracking Dr. Yang for reasons of his own. Eun-ho is a hardened survivor, a man who has seen the worst of humanity and yet still clings to a sense of justice. His knowledge of the city's underground tunnels and abandoned military facilities makes him an invaluable ally, and after some initial distrust, Nam-san allows him to join their cause. Together they form an unlikely trio, each with their own strengths and motivations. As they inch closer to Dr. Yang's hidden facility, the city grows even more treacherous. Armed gangs, desperate for control over the few remaining resources, have established territories across the ruins. Nam-san and his team are forced to navigate through these lawless zones, often engaging in brutal skirmishes with raiders who see them as easy prey. Nam-san's raw strength and Ji-won's agility make them a formidable team, while Eun-ho's tactical knowledge helps them evade unnecessary conflicts whenever possible. Their journey leads them to an old hospital, long abandoned but now repurposed by Dr. Yang's forces as an outpost. Inside, they discover horrifying evidence of the scientist's experiments, grotesque human remains, failed subjects whose bodies have been ravaged by the experimental serum designed to enhance human capabilities. It's a grim reminder of what Sunna might be enduring, fueling their determination to press forward. Breaking into the hospital proves to be their toughest challenge yet. The corridors are patrolled by heavily armed guards, and security measures are tight. Using a combination of stealth and brute force, Nam-san and Ji-won carve their way through, while Eun-ho works to disable the facility's surveillance system. The deeper they go, the more they uncover the horrifying scope of Dr. Yang's work. He isn't just experimenting with human enhancement, He's attempting to create a new breed of superhuman soldiers, devoid of emotion and programmed for obedience. Finally, they reach a high-security chamber where they find Sunna. She is weak, barely conscious, and hooked up to an array of medical devices. But before they can free her, Dr. Yang makes his appearance. Cold, calculating, and utterly convinced of his mission, he explains his twisted vision of humanity's future. One where weakness is eradicated and only the strongest survive. Nam-san, however, sees through the facade. This isn't evolution, it's madness. Before they can escape, Dr. Yang releases one of his prized creations. A monstrous, enhanced soldier who towers over them, a grotesque blend of human and machine. What follows is a brutal, pulse-pounding battle, with Nam-san throwing every ounce of his strength into the fight. Ji-won and Eun-ho provide cover, taking down guards while Nam-san engages the monstrous opponent in a fight for survival. Every punch, every strike echoes through the chamber, as Nam-san pushes himself to the limit to protect Sunna. Eventually, through sheer grit and determination, Nam-san manages to defeat the creature, using its own strength against it. With alarms blaring and reinforcements closing in, the team rushes to extract Sunna and escape the facility before it's too late. They manage to slip away into the night, but not without sustaining injuries and the lingering dread that Dr. Yang isn't finished with them yet. As they regroup in an abandoned shelter, Sunna regains consciousness, her eyes filled with fear and exhaustion. The effects of the serum coursing through her veins are still unknown, and time is running out to find a way to counteract it. Meanwhile, Dr. Yang remains at large, his obsession growing stronger, and Nam-san knows that their fight is far from over. With Sunna safely in their care but her condition deteriorating, Nam-san, Ji-won, and Eun-ho have no time to rest. The serum injected into Sunna's bloodstream is a ticking time bomb, and without a cure, she may soon succumb to the same horrific mutations they witnessed in Dr. Yang's previous victims. Determined to put an end to the scientist's twisted experiments once and for all, they set their sights on his primary laboratory, an underground fortress hidden beneath the wreckage of Seoul's financial district. As they make their way through the city's perilous ruins, they encounter increasing resistance. Dr. Yang's forces, now aware of their interference, hunt them relentlessly. Each encounter grows fiercer, with Nam-san's strength and Ji-won's agility tested to their limits. Eun-ho, drawing on his military expertise, leads them through back alleys and collapsed subway tunnels, utilizing old tactical routes to avoid unnecessary confrontations. Despite their efforts, fatigue begins to weigh on them and doubts start to creep in. Can they really take down such a powerful enemy? Upon reaching the outskirts of Dr. Yang's underground lab, the team devises a high-risk infiltration plan. Eun-ho hacks into the facility's security grid, providing them with a small window of opportunity to enter undetected. Slipping inside, they find themselves in the heart of the operation. Vast chambers filled with containment units, each holding subjects in various stages of mutation. The air is thick with the sterile stench of chemicals and decay, and the hum of machinery echoes ominously. They move swiftly, searching for the antidote to save Sunna. Ji-won discovers a secured vault containing a series of vials, each labeled with cryptic scientific codes. Before they can determine which one holds the cure, alarms blare throughout the facility. Dr. Yang has been expecting them. His voice crackles through the intercom, taunting them with chilling precision. He offers Nam-san a choice: leave now and survive, or face the consequences of interfering with his grand vision. Nam-san, unwavering, knows there is no turning back. With Sunna's life hanging in the balance, he pushes forward into the final confrontation. In the depths of the lab, they finally come face to face with Dr. Yang, who stands before them with an air of eerie confidence. Having injected himself with his most perfected version of the serum, he is no longer just a scientist. He has become the very embodiment of his twisted experiments. His enhanced strength and speed make him a formidable foe, and the ensuing battle is nothing short of brutal. Nam-san, bloodied but relentless, fights with everything he has, countering each of Dr. Yang's attacks with calculated precision. Ji-won and Eun-ho engage in their own struggles, fending off a wave of mutated enforcers, each more monstrous than the last. The fight rages on, pushing Nam-san to his absolute limits. Despite the scientist's monstrous strength, Nam-san's sheer willpower and experience prove to be his greatest weapons. In a desperate move, Ji-won manages to inject Dr. Yang with an unstable variant of his own serum, causing his body to spiral into an uncontrollable state of mutation. The scientist, once calm and calculating, is now reduced to a writhing mass of flesh and agony. Using the opportunity, Nam-san delivers the final blow, crushing the remains of Dr. Yang's twisted legacy beneath his fists. With the villain defeated, they race against time to administer the correct antidote to Sunna. After tense moments of uncertainty, her breathing stabilizes, and a glimmer of hope returns to her eyes. The mission is finally over. As the lab self-destructs behind them, the trio emerges into the ruins of Seoul, exhausted yet victorious. The sun rises over the broken city, casting a faint glow of hope over the wasteland. Sunna, now safe, smiles weakly at Nam-san, silently thanking him for his unwavering protection. Ji-won, who has grown through the ordeal, stands taller, more confident in his place within the team. In the aftermath, Nam-san gazes over the ruins, knowing that the fight for survival is far from over, but for now they have won a crucial battle. Humanity, fragile yet resilient, still has a chance to rebuild one step at a time. Conclusion. Badland Hunters 2024 delivers an intense, action-packed narrative set in a grim post-apocalyptic world. With its heart-pounding action sequences, complex characters, and themes of survival and sacrifice, the film offers a gripping experience that resonates with audiences. At its core, it's a story about perseverance, the fight for what matters, and the unbreakable bonds forged in the face of adversity.